Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Rukmini, Jaya Satyabhama, Krishna Rukmini, Jaya Satyabhama. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Ananta Dev, Jaya Ananta Dev, Ananta Dev, Jaya Ananta Dev. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto number 2, titled the change of pure devotional service, the change in heart, chapter number 3. The canto is titled Pure Devotional Service. The chapter is titled The Change in Heart. Text number 19. Shva Ved Varaha Ushtra Karaihi Shvavid Varahoshtra Karaihi Samstutaha Purushaha Pashuhu Samstuta Purusha Pashuhu Na Yat Karna Pato Peto Nayat Karna Pato Peto Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha Shvavidvarahoshtra Karaihi Samsuta Purusha Pashuhu Nayat Karna Pato Peto Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha Shvavidvarahoshtra Karaihi Samsuta Purusha Pashuhu Nayat Karna Pato Peto Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha.
Shvavidvarahoshtra Karaihi Samstuta Purushaha Pashuhu
Samsuta Purusha Pashuhu
Nayat Karna Patho Peto
Nayat Karna Pato Peto
Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha
Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha
Svavidvarahostra karehi
Shvavidvarahoshtra Karaihi
Samstuta Purusha Pashuhu
Samsuta Purusha Pashuhu
Nayat Karna Pato Peto
Nayat Karna Pato Peto
Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha
Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha
Shvavidvarahoshtra karaihi
Shvavidvarahoshtra Karaihi
Samstutah Purusha Pashuhu
Samsuta Purusha Pashuhu
Nayat Karna Patho Peto
Nayat Karna Pato Peto
Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha
Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha. Word to word meaning. Shva, a dog. Vitvaraha, the village hog who eats stool. Ushtra, the camel. Karaihi, and by the asses. Samstutaha, perfectly praised. Purushaha, a person. Pashuhu, animal. Na, never. Yat, of him. Karna, ear. patha, path, upetaha, reached, jatu, at any time, nama, the holy name, Gadagrajaha, Lord Krishna, the deliverer from all evils. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Please repeat this translation. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The general mass of people, unless they are trained systematically for a higher standard of life in spiritual values, are no better than animals. And in this verse, they have particularly been put on the level of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Modern university education practically prepares one to acquire a doggish mentality with which to accept the service of a greater master. After finishing a so-called education, the so-called educated persons move like dogs from door to door with applications for some service, and mostly they are driven away informed of no vacancy. As dogs are negligible animals and serve the master faithfully for bits of bread, a man serves a master faithfully without sufficient rewards. Persons who have no discrimination in the matter of foodstuff and who eat all sorts of rubbish are compared to hogs. Hogs are very much attached to eating stools. So, stool is a kind of foodstuff for a particular type of animal. And even stones are eatables for a particular type of animal or bird. But the human being is not meant for eating everything and anything. He is meant to eat grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, sugar, etc. Animal food is not meant for the human being. For chewing solid food, the human being has a particular type of teeth meant for cutting fruits and vegetables. The human being is endowed with 2 canine teeth as a concession for persons who will eat animal food at any cost. It is known to everyone that one man's food is another man's poison. Human beings are expected to accept the remnants of food offered to Lord Sri Krishna. And the Lord accepts foodstuff from the categories of leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. As prescribed by Vedic scriptures, no animal food is offered to the Lord. Therefore, a human being is meant to eat a particular type of food. He should not imitate the animals to derive so-called vitamin values. Therefore, a person who has no discrimination in regard to eating is compared to a hog. The camel is a kind of animal that takes pleasure in eating thorns. A person who wants to enjoy family life or the worldly life of so-called enjoyment is compared to a camel. Materialistic life is full of thorns. And so, one should live only by the prescribed method of Vedic regulations, just to make the best use of a bad bargain. Life in the material world is maintained by sucking one's own blood. The central point of attraction for material enjoyment is sex life. To enjoy sex life is to suck one's own blood, and there is not much to be explained in this connection. The camel also sucks its own blood while chewing thorny twigs. The thorns the camel eats cut the tongue of the camel, and so blood begins to flow within the camel's mouth. The thorns mixed with fresh blood create a taste for the foolish camel, and so he enjoys the thorn-eating business with false pleasure. Similarly, the great business magnates, industrialists who work very hard to earn money by different ways and questionable means, eat the thorny results of their actions mixed with their own blood. Therefore, the Bhagavatam has situated these diseased fellows along with the camels. The ass is an animal who is celebrated as the greatest fool, even amongst the animals. The ass works very hard and carries burdens of the maximum weight without making profit for itself. We'll skip that. The ass is generally engaged by the washerman whose social position is not very respectable. And the special qualification of the ass is that it is very much accustomed to being kicked by the opposite sex. When the ass begs for sexual intercourse, he is kicked by the fair sex, yet he still follows the female for such sexual pleasure. A henpecked man is compared therefore to the ass. The general mass of people work very hard, especially in the age of Kali. In this age, the human being is actually engaged in the work of an ass, carrying heavy burdens and driving thela and rickshaws. The so-called advancement of human civilization has engaged a human being in the work of an ass. The laborers in great factories and workshops are also engaged in some burdensome work, and after working hard during the day, the poor laborer has to be again kicked by the fair sex, not only for sex enjoyment, but also for so many household affairs. So, Srimad-Bhagavatam's categorization of the common man without any spiritual enlightenment into the society of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses is not at all an exaggeration. Current masses of people may feel very proud of being adored by such a number of dogs and hogs, but that is not very flattering. The Bhagavatam openly declares that although a person may be a great leader of such dogs and hogs disguised as men, if he has no taste for being enlightened in the science of Krishna, such a leader is also an animal and nothing more. He may be designated as a powerful, strong animal or a big animal, but in the estimation of Srimad-Bhagavatam, he is never given a place in the category of man on account of his atheistic temperament. Or in other words, such godless leaders of dogs and hog-like men are bigger animals with the qualities of animals in greater proportion. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री सादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Generally, when two or three saintly people meet one another, what is it that we expect to hear? Very, very pleasing words, very soft spoken, very kind, very gentle words, giving blessings to people. So this is the general perception that we have whenever we go to meet a sadhu, or when we see that two saintly persons have come and they are discussing something amongst one another. So the Srimad-Bhagavatam is also a meeting of saintly persons, not some ordinary saintly persons, but the most exalted saintly persons of their time. So we all know when this discussion has happened. Just at the beginning of the Kali Yuga, all the great sages by Shaunaka Muni, they have decided to perform a 1,000-year-old sacrifice. For 1,000 years they want to perform a sacrifice. And there they have invited Shuta Goswami. And they are asking Shuta Goswami to talk about what is the highest dharma, which is most beneficial for this age of Kali Yuga. So the topmost saintly persons are there. Shuta Goswami is there, Saunaka Rishi is there. And these verses here are spoken by Shaunaka Rishi. Shaunaka Rishi is speaking to Shuta Goswami. So what is he saying? Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels and asses, Shvad Vid Varahoshta Karai Samsuta Purusha Pashuhu. When do we generally use these words? Hey, you're a dog, you're an ass, you're a pig, right? In Hindi also they scold, no, gada hai kya tu? Kutta hai kya? When do we generally use those words? They are all very, very sharp words when you want to scold someone. Do we expect a sadhu to use these words? Arey tu kutta hai, tu suar hai, tu gada hai. But Bhagavatam is using these words. Shaunaka Rishi, who is the head of the sages, he is using these words. Why? Because the Srimad-Bhagavatam is a very, very special literature. Everybody in this world follows some kind of religion. But what is the special significance of the Srimad-Bhagavatam? In the very beginning itself it is told, Dharma projita kaitava atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. The Srimad-Bhagavatam is throwing out all kinds of cheating religion. Dharma kaitava dharma, cheating religion, it is simply throwing out. And what it is doing? It is establishing the topmost religion. Savai pumsam paro dharmo. Shri Krishna Rukmani Satyabhama ki jai. Srimad-Bhagavatam is establishing what is the topmost religion. Savai pumsam paro dharmo. What is that paro dharmo? Yato bhaktir adhokshaje. That topmost dharma is that which establishes bhakti to adhokshaja, to Krishna. If your dharma is not allowing you to develop bhakti to adokshaja, then what it is? It is kaitava dharma. It is cheating religion. And what is the nature of that bhakti? Ahaituki apratihata. Which means it cannot be stopped in any circumstance. No matter what situation you are, what circumstance you are, whoever you are, you will be able to do this bhakti at all times. No excuses. I have this commitment, I have some other dharma, I have some other duty, I have some other responsibility. Now the circumstances are not favorable. This is not topmost dharma. The dharma which Srimad-Bhagavatam is talking about as the topmost dharma is that dharma. It is that bhakti to Krishna which is ahaituki apratihata. It can be performed at any time, in any situation, by anyone, in any circumstance. So this is the goal of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, to establish this topmost dharma. So for doing this, what are the narrators of Srimad-Bhagavatam doing? They are first shaking up the listener. Why? Because the listeners, they are all in the category of dogs, hogs, camels and asses. Especially in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, we don't have natural attraction for Krishna. We have attraction for so many other things. Attraction means there is a certain force. A force which is attracting us to so many things. Like here, Shaunaka Muni is talking about men who are like dogs. What is a dog attracted to? Prabhupada is explaining here. Dog means they are negligible animals and serve the man faithfully for bits of bread. So what is everybody trying to do in this Kali Yuga? They are trying to get some education. And with that education, they think, if I get this education, if I get this degree, then somehow I can approach some person and get some job. And by that I can remain secure. Parents also say, study well, you get admitted in a good university or college. Then once you get a good degree, you will get a good job and your life can be successful. So what is this training, this education? It is an education to become dogs. We are becoming educated to become dogs. But Prabhupada is saying, the general mass of people, unless they are trained systematically for a higher standard of life in spiritual values, are no better than animals. Which means, there is another type of training, another type of education, which is not making us dogs, but help us realize the purpose of the human form of life. That is Vedic education. In the Vedic education, what happens? One goes to a Gurukula. And after he is trained, he either becomes a Brahmana, or a Kshatriya, or a Vaishya. A person who doesn't undergo this spiritual training, what is he called? He is called a Shudra. So you see, in the Vedic culture, a Brahmana, a Kshatriya and a Vaishya who undergo this training, do they work for someone? They don't work for anyone. They are completely independent. Today, we are thinking, by getting a degree, I will earn money and I will become independent. But what is really happening? We are only becoming more and more dependent. We are dependent on a master for giving us job. We are dependent upon satisfying our senses, thinking only if I satisfy my senses, I will be happy. This is doggish mentality. But in Vedic education, how to become independent is being taught. how to become free from the urges of your senses. That is how you are able to become independent. A Brahmana is not dependent upon something for his happiness. Similarly, a Kshatriya and a Vaishya also, to different degrees, they realize we are not the body, we are the soul. And therefore, they are also not dependent upon sense gratification for their happiness. They are also completely independent. Prabhupada narrates a story in this connection. He says there was Radha Krishna Chandra. Krishna Nagar is there near Mayapur, so that city is named after this Raja Krishna Chandra. So he used to take very good care of all the people in his kingdom. So he heard that, there is a great Brahmana in my kingdom somewhere, people told, and he's in a very, very poverty-stricken condition. So this Raja Krishna Chandra wanted to go and help him. So he went there, he saw that Brahmana is living under one tree in one small thatched hut. So he said, "Oh Brahmana, I want to help you. I see you are in a very poverty-stricken condition." So the Brahmana said, No, I don't lack anything. I have everything. I go out, people gives me some rice, I boil it, and see the Ganga is flowing here, and I am sitting under this tamarind tree. Some tamarind comes, I boil it in the water, I mix it in the rice, and all my needs are taken care. I am very comfortable and happy. You don't have to worry about me. So this is real education. What is this real education? It is teaching us how we don't have to depend upon sense gratification for our happiness. We don't have to depend on a master to maintain us, because we realize that Krishna is actually maintaining us. This is real education. So, modern education, you see everybody is running after degrees. That is why so many educational institutions, they are minting money. They say that now in Hyderabad there was a recent news article. LKG you have to spend 2.5 lakh rupees. Bangalore you have to spend 5.5 lakh rupees for LKG. Why? Because everybody is like a dog. They know full society is filled with dogs. They are thinking only if they undergo this education and they get some qualification, they will get some money, and only by getting money they will be happy. So, Bhagavatam is opening our eyes. If somebody is running after a degree, what is it? They are dogs. I want degree, I want to study, I want degree, then only I'll get job. Means, Shaunaka Muni is saying, you are no better than dogs. Then, the second category, Shaunaka Muni is saying, of people who are hogs. Hogs means pigs. Persons who have no discrimination in the matter of foodstuff and who eat all sorts of rubbish are compared to hogs. So if you see a pig, it has no discrimination what to eat, what not to eat. You always searching for food. Food, where is food, where is food, where is food, where is food? Is it not? So today you see, you open YouTube channels, all YouTube channels have this only. Food. In 50 rupees food, 100 rupees food, 500 rupees food, 10,000 rupees food. Correct, so many varieties of food, and everybody is thinking where I can go and spend my money and satisfy my tongue. Is it not? So this habit of simply satisfying the tongue is again a disservice to the human form of life. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what sort of food we should eat? Yagya shishta shanashanto muchyante sarva kilbishai. Ye pachanti tu, what is that verse? Ye pachanti tu agam papa pachanti atmakaranat. Only for sense gratification, if somebody is cooking and eating, he is only accumulating sin. We are only accumulating sin because we are not acknowledging that all this is coming from Krishna. We are not offering it back to Krishna. But entire human civilization is working hard so that some nice food stuff we can eat and enjoy. But they don't know that they are actually accumulating sin. And this indiscriminate eating will make them degraded to becoming into a hog, into a pig. So, according to Vedic literature, according to the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying one should eat food which is first offered to the Lord. And what sort of food? It should be in the category of Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. This category we are supposed to offer. So if we don't do that, what is happening? We are wasting our human form of life. We are accumulating sinful reaction. We become degraded into the animal species of life. And the third category, the Bhagavatam is talking about a camel. The camel is a kind of animal that takes pleasure in eating thorns. A person who wants to enjoy family life or the worldly life of so-called enjoyment is compared to the camel. Now in this world, who doesn't want to enjoy family life? Everybody is thinking, we should have a nice family, nice mother, pleasing, loving relationships. Is it not? So what is wrong with that? Again, Shaunaka Rishi is pointing out. Actually, Prabhupada is pointing out why Shaunaka Rishi is telling such people are camels. Because the nature of materialistic life is actually there is no pleasure. There is only suffering. Why? To maintain a family, first of all, one has to work very hard. Morning to night, one has to work very, very hard. And by working hard, he has to satisfy the demands of his family members. All family members have to be taken care, their demands have to be satisfied. So it is compared to a life full of thorns. And ultimately, what is the pleasure? The pleasure is sex life, which is nothing but sucking one's own blood. So all the energy which is there in this blood, it is getting drained out in this sex life. So in the Ayurveda it is said, 40 drops of blood makes 1 drop of semen. So we are wasting our blood. And to create every drop of blood, we have to work hard, eat, toil. Then blood is created. From that blood, semen is created, and that semen is getting wasted in this sex life. So we are thinking it is enjoyment. But what are we actually doing? Our own blood is getting wasted. So it is being compared to a camel, because camel also, it is thinking it is enjoying. What the camel is doing? In the desert it is going and eating some thorns. And when it is eating those thorns, its tongue is getting cut and blood is oozing out of its tongue. And the taste of that blood is very, very relishable to this camel. And this camel is foolishly, what it is thinking? That the thorn is so tasty. Actually, the thorn is not tasty. It is actually cutting its own tongue. But some taste from that blood that camel is getting and is thinking it is so tasty. Similarly, if somebody is thinking, I will enjoy this family life, he is compared to a foolish camel by Shaunaka Rishi. So people pursue religion also for a good family life. Is it not? People go to the Lord, they say, give me a very nice family, give me a nice wife, give me nice children. That is also cheating religion. One is pursuing religion for a good family is also Kaitava Dharma, cheating religion. So Shaunaka Muni is pointing out, no, don't pursue religion for all this purpose. Don't be like a camel. And the last category is ass. Donkey. So who is compared here to an ass? Somebody is working very hard and is carrying burden of the maximum weight without any profit for itself. Then somebody may ask, Krishna also tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. And many people use this verse to justify that. My duty I have to do. I have my duty to my parents, I have my duty to society, I have my duty to my boss, I have my duty to my nation. I am not bothered about the results, but I will work very hard. Krishna is telling, but Shaunaka Muni is telling, that is working like an ass. Then why Krishna is telling karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana? Krishna is not saying karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana means you're an ass. But you have to read the full verse to understand what Krishna says. So when Krishna says karmanyevadikaraste, which chapter is that? Fourth chapter? Second chapter, 2.47. Yes. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhur ma te sangostva karmani. So the reminder of the verse says, never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duties. So, in the beginning of this verse also, of this purport, Prabhupada talks about doing our duties. Here he says, yes, sorry, it is in the second paragraph. Yes. Materialistic life is full of thorns, and so one should live only by the prescribed method of Vedic regulations just to make the use of a bad bargain. So the duty which Krishna talks about in the Bhagavad Gita are these Vedic duties. And the purpose of these Vedic duties is what? To make the best of a bad bargain. What is the bad bargain? Bad bargain is this material world. We are meant to eternally be in the spiritual world, be eternally happy, but we have come here to this material world. So, now that we have come to this material world, in the Vedic culture, Krishna is giving so many duties. With what purpose? Not that you enjoy nicely in this material world, not for that purpose, but by executing those duties, you come out of this material world. Dharma swanushtuta pumsa vishwaksena kathasuyaha. The purpose of performing our duty perfectly is what? You develop attraction to listen to Krishna's names. Swanushtitasya dharmasya. If you do your anusthana of your dharma perfectly, what should it result in? Attraction to Krishna. So somebody cannot say, I am going to my office and doing my duty perfectly, I am satisfied with that. No, you cannot be satisfied if by performance of the duty, you are not developing attraction to listen to Krishna. Na utpadayed ratim yadi shrama eva hi kevalam. It is a donkey. If by performing your duty perfectly, you are not developing attraction to hear to the holy name of the Lord, then shrama eva hi kevalam. Just like this donkey, it is carrying so much burden. What is the purpose? No purpose. Some grass the owner is going to give. But that grass the donkey can get anywhere. Even without carrying that burden, the donkey can get that grass. So, the carrying of the burden by the donkey is shrama eva hi kevalam. So if somebody is saying, karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, okay, you're doing this. But by doing this, are you developing attraction for Krishna? No, sir, that is not happening. Then you're a donkey. You're not performing your duty. You're not performing your dharma. So, the purpose of carrying out dharma is to develop attraction to Krishna. So Shaunaka Muni is saying, okay, you're working very hard, you're getting some degree, you're studying, but you're not developing attraction for Krishna, you're a dog. Okay, you're working very hard, you're performing all your duties to your family members, you're taking care of them very nicely, but you're not developing attraction to listen to Krishna, you're a camel. You're somehow or the other trying to get food and eating whatever you find, but you're not developing attraction for Krishna, you're a hog. You're working very hard for your boss, you're earning money, everything is fine, but you're not developing attraction for Krishna, you're an ass. So Shaunaka Muni is very clearly telling us that whatever we may do in our life, no matter how much we achieve, whether in the course of getting some degree or earning money, working for someone, or enjoying life by having enough varieties of sense enjoyment, we are no better than hogs, camels, asses, and dogs. So these harsh words are being used because the entire society is under one of these four categories. And Shaunaka Muni wants to awaken us. So, Prabhupada is telling here at one place, when he was talking about this verse, he says that yes, that this Krishna consciousness movement comprehends all sides of life. It is not that a stereotype churchianity, weekly going to the church and coming back and do all. Churchianity means, again Prabhupada is referring to this cheating type of religion. Prabhupada talks about this several times. It is not something to do only with Christianity, but is there in all religions. So what typically happens? Church means only Sunday they go to the church. And what do? They go and confess. They do some prayers and they confess. And during the rest of the week, they commit all sorts of nonsensical activities, which is not at all God conscious. And they say, Jesus will take responsibility for all our sins. Saturday they go to the church. Prabhupada is telling that we should end this stereotype of churchianity, weekly going to the church and coming back and do all. This is only the Kaitava Dharma, cheating religion, where for the purpose of sense gratification, people are going to the Lord. No, it is embracing all sides of our life, but the only aim is how to go back to home, back to Godhead. So we are not interested in people coming only on Sunday to the temple, doing some kirtan and going back. We want them to embrace this Krishna consciousness, to embrace all aspects of their life. So we have to educate these classes of men. Shva, Vid, Varaha, Ushtra, Khara. These classes of men. Dogs, hogs, camels and the asses. The world is full of these classes of men and you have to educate them. Your responsibility is very great. You have to make an ass a devotee, a camel a devotee, a dog a devotee, a hog a devotee. This is your mission. So this is what Prabhupada is telling us, that we have a very great responsibility. What is our responsibility? We have to make these dogs, camels, asses and pigs, we have to make them devotees. So Prabhupada is not only giving us instruction, he has given us a method also how these animals can be made into devotees. We were also dogs, camels, hogs, correct? Asses. We were also working very hard. Work from home, work from office, wherever it was, but working hard. Correct? With our laptops, always punching, doing some work or something. Correct? But how did we develop that detachment suddenly? Enough of this nonsensical life. How did we develop that? By hearing regularly from a pure devotee. By regular, constant hearing. We were also attached. Family is important. We have to take care. This is the ultimate goal. But how do we develop that detachment from family? Again, by hearing. That's why here, what is most important for somebody to come to the human form of life? Karna upeta jatu nama gadagrajaha. Karna opeta means through the path of hearing. Hearing what? Nama gadagrajaha. The name of Krishna, who is the deliverer of all evils. Shrunvatam swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtanaha hridyantosto hi abhadrani vidunoti suhrut satham. This is the power of hearing the Srimad-Bhagavatam. When we hear Srimad-Bhagavatam, what happens? Punya shravana kirtanaha hridyantosto hi abhadrani. In our heart, whatever misgivings are there. What are the misgivings? I am this body, and because I am this body, I have to work hard to maintain myself. I have my relatives, my family. We develop this illusion. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. So these are all the misgivings within the heart. Hridyantosto hi abhadrani vidunoti suhrut satam. It is all uprooted and taken away by regularly listening. So we are naturally attracted to so many other things because of these misgivings, because of this abhadrani which is in our heart. So these vegas, these artificial attractions which are there, they have to be pulled out by this process of constant hearing. So if this constant hearing is not there, then we remain on the platform of hogs, dogs, camels and asses. So how do we bring people? How do we make them come back to the human form of life? By introducing them to listening more and more and more. So the followers of these hogs, dogs, camels, Prabhupada is saying, they are also big hogs, dogs, camels. Because they are glorified by these categories of people. Is it not? So today you go, you open, who are the top social media accounts of people you see? Are they attracted to listening to Krishna? Who are the top 10? Anybody can say? Highest social following? You can just check in Google. It will have Justin Bieber, Virat Kohli, Cristiano Ronaldo, all these people. Are these people attracted to hearing to Krishna? No. But so many followers. Why? Because all the followers in the category of cats, dogs, hogs, camels. Correct? So, this is going to be the symptom of whether the society is changing into human form of life. When the highest social media account should be of a person who is only listening to Prabhupada or talking about Krishna, who is only speaking about Krishna or talking about Krishna. And who is that personality? That personality is Srila Prabhupada. So, we as devotees, we have to make so many people follow Prabhupada. So much work is there to do. Until Prabhupada becomes the highest followed person on social media, there is so much work for us to do. Is it not? Because the society is fully filled with camels, dogs, asses and hogs. And until, Srila Prabhupada's social media account, it becomes the most followed, we know that there is so much of work to do. So for that, we have to become very good devotees. We have to hear every day Krishna Katha nicely. We have to develop that detachment. We have to develop attachment to hear to Krishna. We have to be free. Vacho vegam, manasa krodho vegam, jihva vegam, udaropastha vegam. We are naturally attracted to so many things. We have to become freed from all of that. And then we will be able to introduce Krishna Katha to so many other people. So, our first project is how do we become free from all these different vegas. From this doggish mentality, camel mentality, hog mentality. And when we become freed, then we will become very good instruments in presenting Krishna and Prabhupada to the world. Okay? So these are a few things from today's class. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki.